Once upon a time, in a quaint rural village nestled at the edge of a dense, mysterious forest, there lived a young man named Ethan. Ethan had grown up surrounded by the whispering leaves of ancient trees and the rustling of the forest's secretive inhabitants. His fascination with the wilderness was ignited from a tender age, and he soon became known as the village's forest wanderer. The forest was a realm of enchantment and danger, where the shadows concealed creatures of both beauty and menace. Lions prowled with silent majesty, their golden fur glinting in the dappled sunlight. Hyenas, with their maniacal laughter, held court over scavenged treasures. Sly foxes, cunning and elusive, danced through the underbrush like wraiths. Ethan's daily routine involved exploring the outskirts of the forest. With his tousled hair and keen, curious eyes, he ventured further and further into the woods with each passing year. He would track the animals, not to harm them, but to learn their ways, their secrets. He knew the lions' habits, how they laced beneath the mighty baobab trees during the heat of the day and set out to hunt under the moonlit sky. The hyenas, the mischievous marauders, intrigued him with their social hierarchy and eerie vocalizations. And the foxes, the cunning tricksters, captivated him with their intelligence and ability to outwit any predator. Ethan's knowledge of the forest and its inhabitants grew, earning him the respect of the villagers. He became the go-to guide for those brave enough to venture into the woods, ensuring their safety by sharing his wisdom about the wild creatures that roamed there. One fateful day, a great drought gripped the land, and the village faced starvation. Desperation drove the villagers to seek the forest's resources, but it was Ethan who stepped forward with a plan. He used his understanding of the animals to forge a truce, convincing the lions, hyenas, and foxes to share their bounty of food during this dire time. In a remarkable display of cooperation, the forest's residents agreed, and the village was saved from famine. The villagers realized that there was more to the wild creatures than met the eye, and they learned to coexist harmoniously with their untamed neighbors. As time passed, the forest became a place of wonder and respect, not fear. Ethan's bond with the animals deepened, and he continued to be the village's protector, ensuring that both humans and the wild inhabitants could thrive side by side. Ethan's story spread far and wide, a testament to the power of understanding, compassion, and the unbreakable bond that can exist between a young man and the untamed world he called home. His life in the countryside ended there, and he wanted to go to the city. One sunny morning, with a backpack filled with dreams and determination, Ethan bid farewell to his family and set off on a train to the sprawling city of Metropolia. As the train approached its destination, he gazed out of the window, his heart pounding with anticipation. The cityscape that unfolded before his eyes was awe-inspiring, a forest of steel and glass that reached for the heavens. Ethan found a small apartment in a crowded neighborhood and soon realized that life in the city was a far cry from what he had known in the countryside. The pace was frenetic, and the noise never seemed to cease. The air was thick with the scent of exhaust, and the streets were constantly filled with people rushing to and fro. At first, Ethan was overwhelmed. He struggled to navigate the labyrinthine streets and the complex subway system. The cost of living was much higher than he had anticipated, and he had to take on 2 part-time jobs just to make ends meet. The city seemed indifferent to his presence, a vast and unforgiving machine that never paused for anyone. Loneliness crept in as he missed the familiar faces and tranquility of the countryside. He longed for the quiet evenings by the fire and the open fields where he could lose himself in the beauty of nature. But he was determined to make it work, to prove to himself that he could adapt to this urban jungle. Over time, Ethan began to adjust. He made friends with fellow city dwellers who showed him the ropes, and he learned to appreciate the unique rhythm of the city. He discovered hidden parks and quiet corners where he could find solace amidst the chaos. His part-time jobs turned into a career, and he started to build a life for himself. However, the city would always challenge him. It demanded resilience, adaptability, and a thick skin. But Ethan had come to understand that the city was a reflection of life itself, sometimes harsh, sometimes beautiful, but always filled with opportunities for growth. As the years passed, Ethan continued to live in Metropolia. He never forgot his roots in the countryside, but he had found a new home in the heart of the city. He had become a true urbanite, and the challenges that once seemed insurmountable had shaped him into a stronger, more resilient individual.
Ethan at this time started looking for a job. Ethan didn't have any knowledge, but he was active and strong. He walks around the city and finds a bakery. He looks for the owner of the bakery. He doesn't need much searching and enters a room in the bakery camp. Ethan asked the owner to give him a job, and he showed how active he is and he will overcome the work. Even though he does not have any skills, he convinced the owner that he will work for free until he learns this skill. The owner welcomed him and told him that his company needs a young and active man. Ethan just started his job, but the amazing thing is that he has already mastered his job and has become a very open-minded and strong man. The days of his salary began and he got a taste of the city life. He felt very happy. Ethan rents a house in the city. Aside from working, he tries to learn other skills that are better for him and for a better position. Ethan has grown into a grown man who has adapted well to the city and is an extraordinary civilized man who has gone from a nomadic life to a father who is happy in his life with his family.